bit corny. I know. I am. I'm John Zidar, and though you can't see her, you see her cute picture there. We got LilyStar with us. Hi, Lily.
Hey, John. Hey, you guys. I'm so glad we're doing this today. We're getting in here to talk to y'all about the market. John, how you doing today?
It was a wild day. I mean, if you like to watch rockets to the moon, this was a wild day on the big markets. The OTC had a lot of action too, but not as lot as the major markets did. So all in all, it was okay.
I'll take it. Yeah, for sure. But
So folks, just so you know, we're here for you. I want to get that out. We got stuff we can show you, absolutely. But we are here to talk about your stocks, and they don't have to be stocks that are running or on fire. If you're invested in them, they're important, and that's why we're here. We'll talk about your stocks, the stocks that you want to talk about. But if you see anything running or on fire and you want to, talk about that, yeah, let's talk about that too.
Absolutely. We had some great volatility in the market, and we blasted this morning, especially the SPY and everything. So, I mean, this helps with our other markets, our smaller caps. We had a lot of things that was jumping up today that I hope people got to play and take some profits on today. Because I love playing the short-term trends, and that's still where we are. It's just like you were saying earlier, John, a lot of things were hitting on their 200 and bouncing, like it was hitting resistance. And we do have that holiday on Monday. We don't know where we're going to go. What's tomorrow going to bring?
Right. Memorial Day. I forgot about that. 3-day weekend. Right.
Absolutely.
So can you all see my page?
Yep, I can see it.
You brought this up, I think, 2 shows ago, Investors Hub. We were talking about what resources do you use to see what stocks are running. And you had brought this up, but we really never actually took time to look at it. And you're right. It is a treasure of resources.
It is.
There's a couple pages, I'm not actually talking about the forum itself, not diving in. Of course, if you want to read people's comments, that's great. But what I'm really interested in is what's the buzz? The hot stocks are the stocks people are posting about, reading about, the most active boards, without even reading anything. If you go over to Twitter, you can look up one stock at a time. But over here, you get all of those stocks in one shot. And you can see which ones they're talking about the most. And it's funny too, because I see stocks up here that I've been looking at through the day off and on because they had gains. I couldn't actually find reason. This top one right there, my goodness, CPWR, Ocean Thermal Energy Corp. I dove into this. I couldn't find any news, any catalyst, but there were some tweets today about old news back in 2016. But it is really interesting. This is ocean thermal energy. Maybe you know of geothermal energy. We used to put pipes in the ground, and the difference between the coldness at the deeper depths of the ground compared to the surface, you could capture that and actually warm your house with it. Well, this is the same thing. They're using cold water from the depths of the ocean that they pump up and use to air condition entire buildings on these islands, the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, stuff like that. But they also make drinking water and electricity with the same bloody process. It is really something else. And the stock was running today. It was up 70%. No news, just some old tweets.
They might have recycled some stuff, but you might also see the market kind of excited about energy and energy plays. We might take a look at the heat map and just see how energy was doing today.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was over here. They've got this ticker buzz cloud, and basically the bigger the green letters, the more activity it's getting on the chart, the bigger gains it's getting. The bigger the red, the bigger the loser. And I like the fact that this breaks down to 24 hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, or right down to the last hour. I've not seen heat charts that do that, but then I don't use them that often, but they're quick. It's quick information right there. ADHC.
Yeah.
ADHC, you see how big that is? This has been something I talked about yesterday. I put news out about the other day. I brought it up again today because it's climbing the charts and some very simple news. They invented glue for joints and blunts. No more do you have to lick them. put them in your mouth and get them wet to keep them together. We've got a pandemic climate here. So this product is really hot. It's a hemp glue that you just use to seal your joints. And that darn company has been running for 2 days. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at it.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a nice movement.
Oh, no, that's not it. I got a couple things going here. I wanted to share.
Okay.
I want to share a panoramic view with you. Let me see. That's today's growth right there. For goodness sake, she went from 0032. That's virtually 100% gains. They say it's 50. How's that 50? Well, that's from the low bubble. That's from the low bubble. So had you had seen this falling in the morning, you may have wanted to get in. That's on the 1 minute. Let's back that up to 5 minutes. So at least we get a better picture here. So it has been actually on an uptrend all the week.
It's been climbing,
the news came out 3 days ago, I think it was. And it looks like it was actually coming up before then. So it was already on somebody's radar. Another thing, since I'm here, did any of you see Redbox today? Do you follow that sort of stuff? Redbox was catching some strong morning activity. RDBX.
It really was.
Redbox fell during COVID because Hollywood quit making movies. So they didn't have new titles to put in the boxes. So people just quit using them. So now it's on a recovery, right? And we saw a lot of activity this morning. Actually, it started yesterday, but today is when it kicked up. So we knew this was probably going to take off today, which it did. And it got up to about 40% gains and fell. And it ended with about 12% gains. That's it. Well, here's the trick. This isn't a penny stock. This is at $7. So you probably wouldn't look at it. But every stock, not every, but virtually every stock on the major markets has a warrant. And I'll guarantee you can probably afford that. And it's a penny stock. And it's probably going to run with the news too. So I'm going to add a W to this one. RDBXW. All right, that's the warrant. And
love those warrants.
I had 2 warrants there, so it looked identical. Oh, I see what it is. I've got these tags lined up here. I can't get 2 different ones unless I get rid of that tag. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on just the last 2 days. Just the last 2 days. So this one over here, I did it again.
Perfect match.
Doesn't get any sillier than that. All right, make sure we're good. We're good. Boom. All right, 2 days right there. So as I said, Redbox left you 12% after giving 40. This one went up 300% today. This is the warrant for it. It started out down here at 31 cents. This started this morning at $8. So as a penny stock hunter, this would have been on your radar. You see this company running in the morning, so you put the warrant on your radar that day. And if you see it running, well, by golly, look at this. And this went up 300%. And after it fell all the way down, you still had 100% gains right there, where this one only gave you 12% at a much higher investment. Yeah. So that's a tip. You see a company running on these penny stocks, and they're not penny stocks. Maybe they're bigger companies. Check out the warrants. I'll bet you the warrant is near $1 or cheaper. And that's going to probably move right with that news too. And you don't have to stick in it. Get out. Take your money and run.
Oh, always. But yeah, I love playing the warrants, John. I love whenever I'm looking at a stock that may have some movement or some news that day, I always check for a warrant, because sometimes, a lot of them do have them and you don't hear about them.
Right. Well, who talks about warrants? I mean, that's just something in the background. I talk about warrants with the low bubbles, but they're not in the news. I mean, they do talk about warrants, selling them and when they go active, but there's no actual news. It's the company. The warrant is the hand attached to the company. And what happens to the body, the hand normally feels. So, just watch one over the other. Another company that was in the news the other day was Black Sky Technology. Now, if you monitor the news and you just, cycle through it, you can come over here to this page. And I don't think you'd actually get the news. This is New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so this is a penny stock, but it's not on the OTC. They had news come out the other day. They own satellites that are low orbit. And they have cameras on these satellites that are the absolute best imagery out there. They can literally take a picture of your watch face, crystal clear, and look at the reflection and see what's off of it. These are really, really good. The Community of Intelligence of the United States just made a 5-year contract deal with this company. They like to satisfy their customers by giving them images of whatever it is they want. So they get $84 million for the first 5 years. And then for the next 5 years, they've got mile markers. They've got things if they will do and meet, they can get up to $1 billion in this 10-year contract.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, you know, honestly, I'm going to call it what I see it as. They're spy satellites. I mean, you know, you don't get a warrant to take a picture using a satellite, so they can watch and see anything, but we're going to presume they're using it for good purposes. Let me get rid of this. All right, let's look. And again, this was one of those stocks that had a warrant.
Yes.
So right there it is. It was running flat for days. There wasn't anything going on, including the morning the news came out. If you'd have been watching this, the news came out here at 10 minutes after 10. If that's a thing you do, because news comes out all day, that's how you catch runners as well. This thing took off and in 25 minutes had gone from $1.17 up to $2.17. So you got a dollar jump in 25 minutes. And though it probably looked like the end for those people who had jumped in, she was just getting started. She ripped it today. She had another dollar added to her. But yesterday, at the end of the day, most of the big market fell and she followed suit with it. But again, it's keeping in touch with the DD, whether it be through post forums and seeing what people are posting about or reading about, keeping up with news, watching trades, as I like to do, see which stocks are getting the most trades. These are all ways to find the heat. And that's what you want, stocks that have heat. And that comes from people talking, people trading it. Volume isn't always the best way to look. A couple people can move a lot of shares, but they're only a couple people. You know, so you might see this much volume and this much price, but you can easily see this much volume in that little price. I mean, it's not a balanced situation. We got any questions out there from anybody?
No questions. There's some people that said hello. Hello, you guys. Thank you for joining us. But the BKSY warrant went on that same news. It went from 14 cents to 57 cents. It was beautiful.
BSKY / WS.
Yep.
Question marks don't work, but slashes do.
It's not showing it.
BSKY?
BKSY.
Right.
Bravo Kilo.
Dyslexic. That's what I is.
There you go.
So again, this one was at 14 cents. And it went up to 57 cents. So you're looking at just over 300%.
Yeah.
300% there. And when she fell, she kept, let's see, we're at 41 cents there. So you've still got 250%.
Yeah, she still held amazing gains.
That's on 14 cents. So you could easily just throw $100 bill on this when you see it start to climb. And of course, you're using the catalyst from the news. It's not just the warrant itself. It's just moving with the arm. The body runs 100 miles an hour. The arm does too. So it doesn't always happen that way, but it is common sense because they are attached to each other.
Now, you always keep an eye on your warrants if that's the case. Always.
And they're right in our ballpark. I mean, you know, 14 cents, that's a perfect penny stock right there.
We love playing
and you're getting the catalyst off of a major company. You know, you're getting the catalyst and everybody's looking at it and investing in that company, and that stock's rising. The warrant becomes worth more right along with the company's price. So I like warrants. They're, like I said, in my basket.
You can trade them just like the stock. And people know that, and that's why they buy into them, and they're just waiting for the opportunity to sell, and they'll jump back into them if it's going to continue, of course.
This is another company that you may want to keep an eye on. You know, all these substitute foods, these Beyond Meat. When Beyond Meat came out, it just ran beyond anything what we thought it would do. It's come down since, but it was just meat made with peas. Yeah, we're talking vegetables, the peas. They were making a meat and it tastes good. And you've got Impossible Burger making them out of peas. We now have steaks and bratwurst and meatballs and spare ribs. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't just taste like it, it looks like it, texture and all. It's unbelievable. We also have baby formula. We have cheeses. We have lots of these. I don't want to call them fake foods. Let's just call them substitute plant-based foods.
Yeah.
And this company came out with a contract, a big contract for Canada, and they got this Lullaby or something like that store chain, 2,000 stores. They're already in the United States. They have just done a deal with China. So this company took off the other day, and I think just because of what they've got a very good chance of becoming a good investment. What was the share structure on this one? I think it was 57 million. We looked at this the other day. VGFC. Yeah, I like this company.
Have you ever tried any of those products, John? Just curious.
You know, years ago, I tried a veggie burger, and when they said veggie burger, they meant it. There was big pieces of broccoli. There was kidney beans. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, it was nothing like what we've got today.
They've gotten a little better than that. I've actually, had a couple of veggie burgers. I couldn't really tell the difference. I mean, I like my lettuce and tomatoes on there too. So, I mean, I was fine with it. But I haven't, besides going out and ordering something, I haven't, purchased these foods, and I don't know.
I think you can buy one at Burger King. I think they sell the Impossible Burger at Burger King, and that's a veggie burger. And they say you can't tell the difference.
Wow. I haven't tried that one.
I haven't either. That may be a safe place to try it. Although burgers ain't cheap.
Nothing is right now.
Nothing is right now. All right. So there you have veggie food. And that's a 5 minute. If we look at a 4 hour, like most stocks, I mean, all the markets are falling. This is OTC. So she is on a downtrend for sure. But she's trying to break it. She's getting over that 200 right there. She's fighting hard. And she's looking like she could succeed, though I can't make any promises there. Yeah, for the last 2 days, she has been fighting to stay up on her 50% mark. She had a big surge here and fell 50% down, and she's sitting right there right now. And she could be going sideways, waiting for these SMAs to catch up to her. Rather than go down to them, she'll sit there and wait for them to come to her. So she took a big gain there, and it's just going sideways right now. I can't say she's got anything else going, but I like the company. I think with inflation and with wheat being hard to get and beef and every animal becoming more expensive, people are going to be looking for alternatives.
Well, this may be a contender, and I do like the fact that it's holding the gains that it's held so far.
And then you got countries like the UK. I lived in the UK for 10 years. Beef is an issue. They oftentimes have a problem with their beef supply, hoof and mouth disease, mad cow disease, because supposedly bugs from across the English Channel can actually catch the wind and come over and infect the animals over here with stuff from these, and it's all bad. So they'd be looking for substitute meats, just like China. It's cleaner, it's safer. You don't have to worry about the bacterial infections or any of that stuff. It's just healthier all the way around. And that is the way the world's going. Huh?
So it's probably better on your cholesterol.
It may be. It may be. Now, from what I understand about the initial burgers that came out, there was no benefit nutritionally. It was pretty much equal. I mean, you weren't gaining anything. It was just a substitute.
Gotcha. Well, those are definitely
somebody out there. Throw me a stock. I'm running out of stocks to talk about.
If you don't have any suggestions, bring them up right now. Even if it's on the NASDAQ under $5, we're going to talk about it. But looking at that food sector, John, as we move forward, I mean, further out, and I'm talking about way futuristic, but those are going to be contenders, I think. We very well may find shortages when it comes to, farms and what we can do with supply issues, demand. The demand is growing. So you have to keep that in mind, especially for long-term trades or equities that you may want to hold or look
I heard you and Lee talking about this the other day, and it's a good conversation looking at those recession-proof stocks. Where should you be putting your money? Because they are talking a recession. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to sound confident about it. It sounds doomsday and pessimistic, but we're trying to face reality too.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, you guys came up with some real good ideas there. One of them I heard Lee say was cell phone companies. Everybody's going to do whatever they can to keep their cell phone. I mean, they'll get rid of Netflix. They don't need Netflix, but they need their phone.
They're going to keep their phone. They're going to keep their internet. And everything else will go before those things will.
Food, like you said,
and
everybody
food, we're talking about the consumer defensive stocks, you know, like your Dollar General, your Walmart. Right. Even in times of recession and inflation, prices are up, but people are still they need these things. They're still going to go spend. And in my opinion, they're going to do it at the places where they have the most value because they need to make their buck go a little bit further, right? And they need the variety.
At the same time, history shows us that people need their vices so that they don't go insane and crazy. So you have your alcohol, your cigarettes, your entertainment.
Yeah, I think gambling stocks always do well. Yes, gambling.
Right. People do this to relieve stress. And, you know, even the poorest people who have habits like cigarettes and alcohol, so get it every day. They keep themselves supplied. People will make those things. So those are sin stocks, and people won't let go of their vices. Bad times or good times, healthy or unhealthy, they're going to keep their vices going. So, and cannabis will be another one. You know, during COVID, cannabis surged. That became the floor for cannabis. March 28th, after 2.5 years of falling, March 28th was it when they said cannabis was an essential business. And it wasn't for our sake. Oh, cannabis keeps you calm. We don't want people panicking. It wasn't because it helped COVID or anything. It generated revenues for these cities who had all their businesses shutting down. And you could actually put a man on the corner selling marijuana. What a new concept. And that's what they did. They had drive-up service on the corners to buy marijuana, literally endorsed by the city, and the city got taxes for it. Try that 10 years ago and you go to jail.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
But you're right. The vices will remain, food will remain, and the things that are essential that we need will remain even in times of recession. So people are just waiting for the bottom on those things, and I think they're going to go long on them.
Now, this is the other page I come to through the day. It's live, but you got to refresh the page, but it updates for you. And this is every stock on the OTC, all 12,000 of them. So that is the biggest gainer out of all 12,000 stocks, 13,142. Chances are, if we look at it, we'll find out it had a reverse split today. Chances are.
36 trades. That's it for all that.
Yeah. And that's why I like to come here. She noticed it right off the bat. Do you know of any other place to get this information, Lily? Do you know a site?
No, I do not. Not information like this. I always go to the OTC markets when I'm wanting to play OTC, or if I'm wanting to check out any or just follow up on what I've been watching. I always check the OTCmarkets.com.
Yeah, I like this column. I mean, they've got a lot of good information, but you can pretty much get it anywhere else, right? But trades, that's really important because, as I said, you can't trust volume. Now, you can be using level 2. You can see how many people, how many trades. That's a live trading board you could keep up with. But if you don't like level 2, haven't got time to monitor it, this is just a tally.
Or if you want to look at many at one time, that's why I like to come here because, you know, which ones are they? I don't know what to look at today. You tell me. And I look at it there, and then I go follow up on the charts, and I follow up with the level 2s, and I see what's going on.
We can see here this one had 180 trades today, 183 million. So that's real activity. That's a chance to get some profit. I don't particularly like to look at the 0002s because they can move 1 billion shares and not move. So they're slow, real slow to warm up. So I don't normally focus in on those if I'm looking for things I want moving. So I look for something over 111. And lately, we haven't had, well, actually this week we have had the 111s getting a lot of trades. 2 weeks ago, good luck. Man, you couldn't find 111s getting any love. The trips just, people were ignoring them.
They weren't.
Well, that's one we were going to look at. I think, did we look at this one?
I think we did. I think it was last week we looked at it.
Oh, this is that Ocean Thermal, the one I was just telling you about, air conditioning. So they did 97% gains today. And where was that? 344 trades. So it's not like you just have to wait to the end of the day to do this. This is delayed by 15 minutes. So after the bell rings, it's not here till about 10 to 10. So things are already moving. That's a bummer, because if you're really trying to catch something, well, it's already going. But you could find things that are going to move through the day. And when you come over here, you're not going to have huge numbers, but they're going to be ones, twos, threes. You see anything at an 8, a 10, or 12, that's 5 times as much as everybody else. That's one to look at early. Just jump over here, click that, come over, look at the news, look at the disclosures. Disclosures are pretty tricky. People don't consider the disclosures, but you come over here and look under SEC filings for an 8K or an S1. These simple ones are short, and they'll tell you the bullet. They'll tell you what's happening. We just made a merger. We just made an acquisition. We just fired somebody and hired somebody else. And those make the stock move. And a lot of times the filing will come out before the news press does. Sometimes they won't even have a news press. They'll just be a filing. And if you're not looking at filings, you'll miss it. And on this site, you don't have to jump around to look for the filings. Come over here to the news page right there. Here's your news for all the OTC stocks, all of them. And it comes up live, the most current at the top. You want to see it, just keep hitting the more button. There's your financial reports if you're looking for a company's financials. But down here is where I go hunting every morning. These 8Ks. I go through here because they're not very big. Now this one is, and it looks like I've been here before. But most of them are about that big, right there. And you just come below that big black line, and right here will normally be what you need to know.
What's going on?
And here they filed for 2 patents pending applications to the USPTO. But sometimes it's nothing. Most of the time it is. But you don't know until you jump in, and they're pretty bloody short. And you can just come in and say, oh, look, there's a reverse merger. Whoa. Or there's a reverse split coming. Oh, you just got warned before everybody else did. Reverse split. I just found one of those the other day. It was a 1 in 50 reverse split. It was like,
yeah, you have to keep up with news like that. You can get burned if you don't.
So this is a very quick place to get the information already correlated for you. All you got to do is click into it and read it. Look at a few, get accustomed to them. The 8Ks are normally about that big. Sometimes they throw a news press in the bottom, but they're that big. There's nothing to them. But you want to learn about the company? Man, come up to the 10Q or the 10K, which is, well, whatever company you're looking at. Let's look at this one. Come over here to the disclosures and just grab one of their 10Ks or 10Qs, and everything you want to know about the company will be in there, especially if it's a 10K or 10Q. Even the things they're worried about, they'll tell you their risks. It's a long list, but you're never going to get that in the news press. They're never going to tell you if this happens or that happens. We do have this concern, that concern. So it's a great place to get info.
Yes, it is. And we got Jesse Gonza that's asking about CZNI.
BZNI?
C is in Charlie. C is in Charlie. Z is in Zulu. N is in November. I is in India.
Oh, Cruzani. I hold this. Yes, I do. I hold this. What was the reason I got in? As soon as I see, I'm going to remember. Yeah, this has fallen severely. I know because I hold it. Let's see what we can pick up here. Oh, boy, look at that share structure. 8.9 billion shares in the float. Little rough. Anything going on here currently? 2019, nothing there. So we've got no news that's coming in. They did have a filing here today, a 3.
Okay.
That means somebody's did something with some shares. And I'm not real familiar with 3s. They're not filled with a lot of information. Looks like a director. He's a 10% owner. Amount of securities beneficially owned. Indirect. Yeah. So I don't see anything super duper here. Let's take a look at that chart because it doesn't look like. Now, I'll tell you what we can do. Because we are looking for information, that would be something we'd like to know. I just run over to Twitter and I just ask them, hey guys, you know anything about it?
Merger stuff or something going on. That's what the chatter is on Twitter.
Oh, do you see it?
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit. Mergers making progress. Preferred shares were issued to Mr. Lakshin, the president of BAMO. Can't wait.
That's just what we looked at there. That was the form. All right. So there is rumor of merger, but now it's more than merger because now we've actually got a legal form of the entity of the other business coming into it. Merger, 8K out, and PR coming this week. So now we've got people excited that news is coming. I wonder if this company has their own site. I don't see anything here. I always like to go to the Twitter account of the company if they have one. That's just smart. But I don't see that they have one here. Another one, 0 shares available to short. That came out 4 hours ago. Really? With 9 billion shares, there's no shares available to short?
It's kind of hard to believe. Now, I do see that the price action that we're seeing on the actual chart is, between, 0001 and 0002 right now. That's where we're at.
All right. So about 6 months ago, we were at 007. So we are more than 1,000% down. I mean, she's falling hard. She's under the 200. Obviously, she must have had some news here, maybe just a few tweets. Hard to tell, but that was a serious jump. That was a serious jump, but a lot of depression afterwards. We don't know if it's because of the company or because of just world affairs. I mean, all the markets are depressed right now. That's just the way it is. And she looks like she's still on that downtrend right now. And there's not much further to go, is there?
She's in between 1 and 2. So, I mean, they've got the chatter going. We've got some filings. It's definitely one to watch because there could be some potential here.
That's what they need. We just need some real news from the company. We don't need Twitter people telling us something's going to happen. We need the company to actually give us some news. We couldn't find anything on OTC. So there's still the one form that came in today, which adds a piece to the puzzle, but I don't see a whole lot of the puzzle, but I haven't dove deep into it. And maybe I should. As I said, I bought this a while ago, and I do mean a while ago. May have been back here somewhere. And at this price, maybe about time to average down. It can't get a whole bloody lower.
No. And like I said, we got chatter, John. So this might be, the move might be coming. We're going to definitely keep an eye on this one. Thank you for bringing it up, Jesse.
Hold on here. Hold on. Yeah. Would you believe we were looking at the wrong chart?
He's like, I had the right one. I mean, that was between, am I looking at the wrong chart?
No, I was. See, I knew it should have looked like a picket fence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm seeing.
Triple zeros, you just get this.
Yeah.
And it stays there until it comes out of the triple zeros. You really don't get any movement, which is why I don't like to ride a 000 for. Now, that's not to say you won't get them to rip, but to catch them on time, that's like trying to catch a fish jumping out of the water with your net. I mean, you got to be in the right place, right time, and have the swing already in motion. Now, this does look like it's actually approaching the 200 right now, or should I say the 200 is approaching it?
Yeah.
We're right there at the top. It hasn't got a whole lot further it can go down, right? We're at 0002. Right there is 0001. And honestly, the way this has been acting, I'd expect it to actually take every inch and pull back to 0001 before she decides to get onto it. But without a catalyst, I don't know that this has a chance of actually getting off the floor in this market. We really need that.
The market is brutal, but keep an eye on that chatter. Keep following this one, and let's see what it's going to do. Let's give it a little bit of time to do some movement, something we can chart. And Jesse was saying, thanks, John, and you are so welcome.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I'm going to average down at this price, 0002, because even if it hits 0001, they're not going to sell it to you for 0001. They're going to sell it to you for 0002. No, so, exactly. So I'm going to buy some at 0002, and whatever price I paid, I assure you, it wasn't this low. So this is going to bring my average down a lot because she's fallen a lot. So yes, hey, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I haven't been watching this one because it hasn't been doing anything.
Yeah, no life yet, but we'll get there. And we got Sand Tribe that's asking about EVFM. And we did discuss EVFM probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, John. That's the one that has the Phexxi product I was telling you about. That's a different type of birth control for women. And I know it got beat down a lot. I hadn't checked on it in the past few weeks. Let me go look at it, and you can look at it.
Oh, EvoFem Biosciences.
Yeah, it's dropped down a bunch.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this company, actually.
We had a little bit of sell-off recently. I'm wondering if they're announcing maybe a reverse split or something could be happening soon.
That's the 20-day look there. We did have a big drop after market. Something happened, which nobody knew about through the day. And this fell right at the beginning. And this was on the 5th of this month. And she was back here at $2.98 and has hit a low here of just about 33 cents. And she's just over that right now. Technicals are strong on the CCI and RSI, at least pointing in the right direction coming out of the grave. But the MACD looks pretty wimpy. All I can say is she's trying to cross over right now. Let me see if there is anything we can find out over here.
It is peril that you find news to see if they're talking about reverse split or something like that. Just to stay listed. I mean, it's not good when they fall under $1 like that and stay down for a long time. So we need to find out about that. Also, just be aware of EVFM. I've played it several times back in the day. They are notorious for doing offerings.
All right, this one here. This drop came, if we are to take the man's word for it, tells us over here that the company is doing a public offering. It came out on the 20th. And the 20th is when it fell, which means they're diluting their shares. They're putting more.
There you go. They're doing it again with no movement and going down. They are still taking from their investors. And that's what I found about this company. It's really hard to buy in and want to hold long when they keep doing this. So just if you play it, I don't hate EVFM and the product they have, but if you play it, I would say play for the short term. You know, take the gains when you can get them, because more than likely you're going to get another chance to get back in because they're going to throw an offering out.
Yeah, these people are basically talking about it's had a severe dump. Now's a good time to get in. But
they may decide to do a reverse split. Who knows?
What's this? That's a company that did a 15-to-1 reverse split to meet compliance. And then this. Never in my life have I seen such incompetence or mind-blowing.
Absolutely. That is true. Because I witnessed it. Sand Tribe's also asking about BONZ. I'm not familiar with that
Bones.
one.
Yeah, we got a video out there for Bones. I haven't looked at Bones in quite a while. I can't even remember what they did, but I will here shortly. We'll get rid of that. It's not E-Bones. It's just Bones, please.
Just Bones.
Just Bones. I'm going to bet this one is falling heavy. I'm going to get rid of all these lines so we can see this clearer. And that is the 1 hour look. Let's go back 4 hours. Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, she had a big jump here. Then you see her M for murder. She's going to
gave it all back.
Yeah, you see a big M on the board. That's a double tap, big M. That means murder. Chances are she could fall strong. See a W for winner. She could
for winner,
up.
Yeah. I know winner, but I didn't know about the M being murder.
Maybe that's just me. So when she got murdered, she fell under the 200 here. And she hasn't been over it, really. She's poked her nose up like a periscope, but that's it. And looks like she's even falling further down right now. She's at 0027 for a low right now, which is, I'll bet you that's a year low by all means. Yeah, that's a 52-week low, and she isn't bouncing off of it. I always say a 52-week low bubble is a flashing for sale sign if the company has value. People will see that. There's hunters out there, low bubble hunters, and they see these pop up. They got scans that tell them when things hit 52-week lows, and they go do a quick search and see what the company's looking like. And if they like it, you won't just get a bounce back. You'll get a climb. It'll start
the chatter I'm getting off Twitter, it looks like Bones plans to acquire Marvian. I don't know what Marvian is.
Marvian. I think that if I remember correctly, tokens. I can't remember. I know the name. I've seen Marvian a lot here. Okay. Marvian to launch inaugural Ask Me Anything session for community engagements. Oh, I remember that. Boy. Oh, forensic psychologist. Right. All right. Bones. This is a company that they're working over in the Orient, maybe Hong Kong or something like that. and they make movies, series. Actually, this one here is a TV series, Forensic Psychologist. And they made these NFTs because it's a popular series. So they're selling the NFTs to back up the series. Well, one of the NFTs was a cameo NFT. If you bought that one, if you were lucky enough to get it, you actually got put in the TV show. And this has become a thing with them now. And I haven't kept up with them, but that's what I was talking about the first time I looked at this. Marvin to invest for DOT rights to Hong Kong zombie action thriller, Chungking Mansions. And plans to expand film into the metaverse. And Marvin successfully acquires 20 movie licenses for $10 million. So this is I've always said NFTs are more than just people. They're anything that people like. And every single movie, old or new, has fans. So there's always a fan base to sell these NFTs to. And NFTs cost what to make? Ding! Absolutely zilch, man time.
We might see some movement on Bones with this chatter, so it's another one to follow. Right now, it's looking kind of flat, but you'll see it. It'll start moving more, or you'll start seeing more people talking about it, and there could be a short-term opportunity there. Absolutely. The next one Sandra brought up was MOTNF, which I think that's a foreign security.
MONTS.
Yeah, I put it on the screen for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one he's talking about. I do believe this is PowerTap. MOTNF. PowerTap. Yeah, this is PowerTap. I invested in PowerTap about a year ago. And it's fallen too. But then again, everything's fallen. That's the problem with the market. This is a hydrogen company. They've got these self-contained units that you just put on the back of a truck. You drop off at a gas station that's pumping gas. You go build a new island that's got these hydrogen pumps, and you connect it to your box over there that makes hydrogen right there. So you don't have to bring it in by truck or anything. It just continually makes it right there in a box, and it pumps over to your car. Well, they've got this device, and they're working in California. They're also working in one of the Arab countries. I can't remember which one, but they are going from end to end. They are putting up all the hydrogen pumps in the entire country over there in one of those Arab countries. But the big deal was in California, they get tax credits like Tesla, just like Tesla. Every pump they put up doesn't have to sell a nickel's worth of hydrogen. Just make sure it's working and ready to go. They are going to get paid over $1 million. I think it's $1.2 million for every single pump they put out. And it takes 2 weeks to put in a pump. 2 weeks. And they want to cover California in hydrogen. How many pumps do you think they can put out? And they're getting all that money now before they sell any hydrogen. Once they start selling hydrogen, they move to a different tax credit, just like Elon did. And they get more money for what they sell. And of course, the gas companies are making money too, and you don't have to build separate places to get your hydrogen out there. Well, they've been doing other things lately too, all based on that. And I think hydrogen is going to be king.
That's definitely a futuristic thing. Absolutely.
Electricity is what it makes. I mean, a fuel cell just takes hydrogen and puts it through a process, and two things come out of the process: water and electricity. The car uses the electricity, and the water trickles out of the tailpipe. You can drink it. If you're ever in the desert, you can literally drink it. It will not hurt you at all. It's perfectly pure. So I think this is where we're going to go with fuel cells, because hydrogen, you don't have to rape the earth for lithium. You don't have fires exploding. It's not that kind of hydrogen. It doesn't work like that. So I think that's where it's going to end up in 10 years. Right now, it's the underdog. It's the dark horse by all means. Yeah. But this company is working, not just in America. They are working over there. They've got some big deals going.
And everything I see on it chatter-wise, and this is just, when I say chatter, I mean your social media, stuff like that. What I'm seeing chatter-wise is, a year old, about a year and a half old. So it's definitely something that everybody was interested in, at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. And we've probably seen some major pullbacks since then. But do we get another run? Is it futuristic? Yes. So it's one to keep an eye on.
They tell us here that they've already got, I forgot, they have a contract with the Andretti stations, which are something like 250 or 2,000 stations. I'm not sure, but they got a contract with them to put them in already. I was trying to see if they had anything here. It's supposed to be an update. I do see them talking about California, which is good. The last bit of news I kept reading was all about not Israel, but the Arab country that they're working in, which is a big deal. It's the first Arab country that's going to be 100% based on hydrogen from end to end. Of course, it's a little country, but it's being done. So I like the company for the long run, but obviously right now, geez. But again, these are good times to be adding to your holds. You should never buy everything you want the very first time you see it, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years, and it could drop just like this, 50, 60, 70%, not because the company's in trouble, but because the world's in turmoil. And you can pick up a huge deal down here. So you want to just get 20%. When you see it and you initially like it, if it's a long hold, give yourself the opportunity to take advantage of when it falls. There's nothing worse than being totally invested and watching it fall and knowing there's nothing you can do. It's just, but if you see it fall, you can get excited. Ooh, look at that 50%. I'm getting a deal. I'm getting a deal, because you know it's going to come back. You've done your DD. You know management is trustworthy. The records are being audited. You know, if you're going to start holding long holds, make sure you're getting audited records. Don't be trusting those pinks for any long holds. That's a scary place to be putting your money for any long period of time.
Yeah, and
so
now
I got it, like I said, about a year ago, and that is the year chart. Boy, maybe I got in longer than a year ago, because I got in, I think, at $1.59. That's what comes to mind. So I may have got in somewhere back here. Yes, somewhere in here. And she has fallen, obviously.
Yeah, they've definitely beat it down, but it's also with the market, and the OTC is missing the volume right now. We're just going to have to wait for that to come back, but it could be an opportunity to average down. It is
absolutely.
I see
absolutely.
that.
Even
Now,
if you're only buying a little, every little bit you buy, since you only bought a little before, it's not like you had 100,000 and you're buying 10,000. You probably bought 10,000. You can buy another 10,000, and you're going to split that price in half. Boom, right down into the middle. So if I bought it up here and I bought it now down here, and I buy the exact same amount, that's my new price. That's my new price right there. That's how you make money in a long hold. You build your position, making it cheaper as it goes along. When it starts running, you may have to scale up and take advantage of a run that goes for 13 years. It's the only time you'll ever get in is to buy it when it's rising. But these are great buying opportunities. But remember, times are tough, so don't spend a lot, but take advantage. Even if it's $20, get some. It will bring your price down, and in the long run, it's going to pay you to have bought shares that bloody cheap.
Our next question's on the screen from Ty, asking about SYSX. And, I covered this one probably about 6 episodes ago. Before it had its run, I was in the double zeros. I think it was 005.
I remember you talking about it. You're more familiar with this one than I am.
Oh, yeah. You just pull it up and we'll discuss it real quick. But SYSX, had a massive run from when I was talking about it in 0064, something like that. And it ran to like 11. It was 11 cents.
Oh, back here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking about
it all the way down here at 006 and had 1 day, 2 days, pulled back. And a third day she had gains. Fourth day she had gains.
It was really a beautiful,
she hit a high.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play. So I've been watching it, and it's pulled back. And I expected, that was the thing, I expected SYSX to just give everything back, but it didn't. It came down to about, 0.3, maybe a little bit under that.
Yeah. It came right down to the 200.
Yes. And it spiked back up, and, it's been building. It's holding better than I anticipated that it would. Now, what I don't like, because the chart it still looks good, but what I don't like is today. I don't like how it closed today. So if you were already in it and took gains, great. We had a massive move this morning from like 7 to 9. So that was a pretty good move. And then, it gave about half of it back, and it may hold. I just don't like the way it ended today. So I would watch it.
Yeah, right there at the very end of the day. She was doing great. I mean, she was virtually holding it all day.
She was. But I know that the news that was anticipated on SYSX, I can't even remember what it was, but I know it was set for the end of this month. So I'm suspecting that that's already came out or it's coming soon. And you might have a lot of people taking their profits and leaving this one alone. So just be hesitant there and be aware of that. I already made my play. Here. Yeah, I played it from the 4 cents up to about 9.5 on the first run. And I'm not messing with it anymore. I have no intentions of giving anything back. So I'm happy with my gains. But it's possible. I don't know what that news is. So do check into that. If it's looking bullish, it's starting to push up again, starts breaking through that 200 and holding, then maybe it might push back up to those 11s to retest it.
Yeah, she is kind of sitting on the 10 on the 1 hour, because when you look at the 5 minute, she doesn't look to be sitting on anything. She looks to be just dangling up there in the air like she's going to fall. And she could easily, because that's her habit, to come back to the 200. That's where she came back after that last run, down to 3, which was right on the 200. So
keep an eye on that one.
And that right now, and of course, you can't say where it is right now, because by the time it gets there, the 200's coming up, the price is coming down, things will be different. But chances are, with the technicals the way they look, this is coming further. There was no aftermarket activity on it whatsoever. Not a squeak.
Yeah, it just stopped. I don't like where it ended. So keep an eye on it in the morning and check the news. Maybe it did come out. And if it did, people are notorious for buying the rumor and selling the news, and they have no problem with selling it to you.
No news today. We haven't had news for about 3 weeks.
There is something anticipated. I just can't remember what it was. I really can't. Now, before we move on, Snookeroo he wanted to congrats anyone that was holding Alta. It's up to $52, which is a little bit out of our range, but yes, absolutely. Congrats. I know they played that in the Discord. Alta, they were playing it, I think yesterday. I know they were playing it today. And we did have some great gains with that over on the Penny Boy side. The next question we have is from Jesus. What happened to PDPG? I cannot buy or sell.
Uh-oh.
I don't know this.
Gone expert.
That's what I'm wondering. And I definitely want to help Jesus out for sure.
What? P what?
Papa, Delta, Papa, Golf.
There you go.
Oh, no. It's on the
current. So it's not that she's late.
Why does it have the bones?
They won't even tell you. That's the one problem. They don't give us the details. When you read this, it just says there is a public interest concerning the company.
Yeah, and we had some rule changes not too long, probably about a year, maybe a little over a year ago with the OTC markets. Anytime a stock or the OTC goes caveat emptor, which is that skull and bones you see, there's a lot of brokers that will not let you trade it.
I can't. I can't buy any caveat emptor on TD.
So there's something they're trying to warn you about, or something's going on with it, and they're not liking it. So they could have halted it. I've seen them halt it for 2 weeks, 2 months, and you can't buy or sell. So you may have to contact your broker.
And it's frustrating because you're seeing the stock move and you can't trade it. You talk to your friends, they can't trade it. You're wondering, how the heck is it trading? Who's trading it? If they can trade it, why can't I trade it? And it really comes down to brokers. Brokers, they can if they want, but they choose not to. Same thing with the expert market. The SEC passed the rule that you cannot publicly display the price of a company on the expert market. That's the total rule. It has nothing to do with allowing me to buy or sell. But your brokers will tell you, oh, we'll let you sell your stock when it's an expert, but you're not allowed to buy it. Well, if I'm allowed to do one, I should be allowed to do the other. I'm a shareholder.
Absolutely, because you can't average down in those situations or anything. But, Jesus, if they're saying, Jesus is saying they had good news. Okay, but it's possible, especially with that skull and bones, something is going on. And it's possible that it's halted. I have seen companies get halted 2 weeks and no trades happen. The SEC halts it and you cannot trade it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. And you just may have to contact your broker to find out, especially if you're already in the trade.
This came out yesterday and they're talking about their shell status. Performance
What's the shell?
What do they sell?
I was reading it. It says it's a shell. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what it says on the outside too. But they're talking about they filed to change that shell back September 30th, 2021. And from that date, they were not a shell company anymore, which it still says there that they are a shell risk right there. And a shell risk is the problem. Being a shell company isn't a problem. Being a shell risk means you're supposed to be reporting revenues and you're not. What business are you doing that doesn't make any money? But they had some more information there. The company is no longer a shell for the following reasons. On March 10th, 2021, the company announced that it was changing its name and was starting business operations in the near future in the beverage space. August 9th, 2021, the company entered into negotiations to establish a European research presence in Portugal with local entities there. This was later announced to the market February 7th, 2022, when a formal agreement was signed. So they've actually got deals already done. November 13th, the company disclosed that it was no longer a shell company and its quarterly report for the period ending. So it looks like they've got everything going there. The company launched the brand Pro Boost Energy and has applied for U.S. trademark protections. And here, just in May, the company published financial disclosures, which outlines the company's expenses. So with all of that being said, it sounds like they're taking care of the caveat emptor. It sounds like there was something they're not coming out and telling us, but it looks like they're trying to tick all the boxes. We've done this. We have a product. We have a deal on the table. That's really what they did there. They told us we have a deal, so we have business. We have a product, so we have business. We have a trademark coming, so we have business. We're not a shell company. So maybe this will change here real soon. And when it does, I would expect a bounce because people love to see these things come out. I mean, they just feel they're worthy of paying attention to. So I'd keep my eye on this. But until that comes down, you're not going to be able to buy it. You can watch it rise, but you can't get into it.
That's right. And so if you do have any questions like that and you're not sure, you can't find anything, I don't know if you're already in the trade, Jesus, because it may have been on this market or where you couldn't trade it for a while now. But if you are in it and they just started doing that where you couldn't sell and you couldn't buy, I would contact my broker to see if I could find out what is going on. You always want to keep up with what you're trading.
All right. CPW. I was just taking a last glance here because we didn't get very far down this. There's the hemp glue. That was 691 trades. TLSS on the QB 777. They did almost 50% with 38 million shares. I never actually looked at them today. I didn't get to see what they were about. You got 4M here, not 3M, but 4M, 33%. Just about 1 million shares, 155 trades. And this is real light, folks. You know, I don't see one over 1,000 trades. And I'm used to seeing a couple thousand trades, honestly. Exactly. What was the volume today? Oh, hopefully that's
4.
Right. 5.3 billion.
That's not that great.
No, and look, people are down, finally fell $1.16 billion. We're normally at 2.1 billion.
Yeah. And we got a few minutes before we leave here, and we got a couple of last minute questions. John Sand Tribe's asking about Clove. I put it on the screen. He thinks Clove is on sale. CLOV, which is on the NASDAQ. Yes.
All right. Let's see. Let's take a.
This is a Chalmers SPAC that SPAC last year. It didn't IPO, but you know what I mean. It came to the market from a SPAC last year because of Chalmers. So it's one of his. I think it's the health sector, and I played Clove several times.
All right. So yeah, when she came on the market, she jumped. Yeah, she's down here to $3 right now.
And I have seen it lower than that recently.
There. Yeah.
I traded it not long ago. I think when it hit that low bubble is where I traded it.
And that's what I mean. That low bubble caught some people's attention. That low bubble, because that's not just a recovery, that's a climb. That got further above where it fell from. So there was a lot of excitement here. She's following the 200 right now. Looks like she's just going to come right back down to it. She obviously needs some catalyst to get her going. She had a good jump today, but then so did everything else. I mean, good gracious. Is this a NASDAQ stock?
Yes.
Yeah. See, the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, holy cow. That's what most of the charts look like today. So she didn't have any cause to run except she was on the same waters when the tidal wave came through. Woof! Took her boat flying up. Obviously, she didn't hold most of hers. She gave away about 50%, right? That's about where she fell to. She's above her 200 right now. So, I mean, for her, she did get to keep some of the gains. You can't be upset that she didn't keep them all. The fact that she kept some is good. She looks like she's coming back up right now, actually. Her technicals are all up strong. RSI is a little weak, but things are looking on the upturn right now. Your 10's coming up. Is there any news on this? We got time to take a look. Clove it'll be. Now remember, this is OTC markets. We're looking at a NASDAQ stock, so we may not get as much information as we're hoping. 378 outstanding shares. Don't know what their float is. Don't normally get news here. Fingers crossed, not a bloody thing. Any new disclosures? Yeah, they had an 8K come out yesterday. And let's see here. On May 25th, 22nd, Clover Health Investment announced that Scott Jeffrey will become the chief financial officer. So they've gotten themselves a new chief financial officer. Like I said, 8Ks will tell you about the big boys coming and going. So if you really like your management and you're not reading your 8Ks, you may lose somebody and not know you lost them. So I don't know if that's bad news or good news. Obviously, some DD would actually help there. And that seems to be all the current news. Real quick, we'll just drop it into Twitter, see if they see something we missed. They seem to work with doctors. I don't know anything about this company whatsoever. Clover Health Investment appoints Scott Leifer as CFO. Will be over $5 by the end of June. There's your analysis. Love him or hate him, if you're not remotely inspired and encouraged by this as an investor and human, I recommend you reconsider your priorities. Clove will slowly and steadily flip healthcare on its head through incessant innovation and persistent management of business. Boy, they ought to hire this guy. He's good. So
we got one more.
You've got new management. You know, with new management comes new direction sometimes. And like I said, I don't know anything about this company, but obviously it had a little bit of growth today. It had a lot of growth from the market, but it got to keep a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
and Clove likes to run with the meme stocks too. Just keep that in mind. Your GME, your AMC, Clove is one of the ones they play with that as well. So that's why when I traded it, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when I traded it, I was in and out. I didn't stay. And the last one, we have Mr. Jeff Thompson here. He's asking about if you think TONR will run again. He says there's news incoming, and I'm not familiar with this one.
Toner, I think I covered Toner in one of my videos just in the last few days because it has, they do have something coming. I can't remember what it is. And it is a decent company. It's one of those companies that a lot of people were paying attention to, along with Swarm and ICOA and One World Universe. You know, there was a bunch of them right there that all fell. There was nothing wrong with these companies. Just, you know, you got to remember, they're going through this time too. The company may be in business, but they may not have funds. They may be tight. Things are rough all the way around. So, yeah, I believe in Toner. I can't remember everything going on with her, but I have the impression that she is one of the stocks I say to keep a look on. Is she a Karen Courier play or a George Sharp play? I can't remember. One of those expert markets that is being lifted up. And all those plays are stifled right now. All of those plays. Nobody's really worried about that right now. Everybody's really playing secure plays because nobody's got money to risk, and nothing's really secure. But
they're just risk off right now. Risk off.
Well, I
So
think we're going to call it a day, folks.
we are, but I wanted to remind everybody, you know, if you like talking with John and me, we talk about stocks all day long in our Discords. You can find us in Titan. We have an OTC section that is free. So anything that you post in our OTC chat, we will respond to, we will look at for you. And of course, we do these YouTube lives every Thursday. And we also have our Penny Boys server. I put links to both in the comments if y'all are interested. We have free sections in both, you guys. And we do a lot of live streams. So come join us, you know. If you need
Lots of
market
education.
news and you want people that's excited, you can come see us.
Yeah, Titan Trading was made for the OTC. Penny Boys has always been about the major markets. So we've put this together and we need more people. We want people excited about the OTC.
Absolutely.
We share our information with each other. And as she said, there's lots of free tips and information going on over there. So come on over. We'd love to have you.
Well, you guys have a great one. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye, folks.
See you Thursday.